Politics is the art of gaining and using power.
You know what? He's right.
That's what politics is about. I mean, voting is a part of it, but politics goes a lot deeper than just casting your vote at the ballot. As we shift right now in today's climate, it's also important that we look at the historical context of America. Whoever creates the law defines the criminal. Obviously, a criminal is a person who commits a crime. That points to the idea that being a criminal is a legal construct, not a moral construct. When you look at the history of this country, at one time, it was illegal for me to pursue education. It was illegal for me to pursue justice. It was illegal for me to pursue equality, and it was illegal for me to pursue freedom. So when you look back at history, you see there was something called the Fugitive Slave Act. The Fugitive Slave Act said it was the slave owner's right to go and capture or recapture any runaway slave because the runaway slave was technically that slave owner's property. And anybody that helped that quote unquote runaway slave get to freedom would also be a criminal. So the person who's pursuing the freedom and the person who's helping the person pursue the freedom would be the criminal. And the slave owner would be the law-abiding citizen. How ironic is that? Even on the books today, this is right now, in the Constitution, the 13th Amendment, after Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation and all of that, the 13th Amendment was put into the Constitution, which is still there today. The Constitution abolished slavery.
Slavery, sir, it's done.
Except as a punishment of crime. So that means slavery still is legal if it is a punishment for crime. That led to convict leasing and all these type of things. And what is convict leasing? Convict leasing says, if you are incarcerated, I could lease prison labor to companies. So if you was incarcerated in my prison, I could lease your labor to a coal mining business or something like that. Pay you pennies or zero, lease you to this coal mining company. They work you to death. I get paid, they get paid, you get nothing. Did you know that it was also illegal at one time for a black man to be unemployed? It was called vagrancy laws, which means if a black man was out and law enforcement seen him, they can ask him for his papers. Let me see your employment papers. And if you couldn't show that you were employed, you could be arrested. Now, how do you get released? You have to get employed. How am I going to be employed or find employment while I'm incarcerated? Sheriff says, well, you're in luck. My uncle has a plantation. Sign right here that you work for my uncle and we'll let you go today. I just signed my life away for the next 10 years and now I'm back on a plantation working under slave conditions yet again, right? But that was totally legal because whoever writes the law defines the criminal. I just want us to be mindful of the historical context of how criminality has been defined in this country.